Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, and as we now know, Season 1 of Call of Duty Modern Warfare is upon us. Next week on December 3rd is when Season 1 of Modern Warfare starts, and we're actually starting to see that this is actually going to work a little bit like Black Ops 4, where throughout the season we are going to get added content, new maps, new game modes, new guns, but the difference this year is everything is free. Everything that you are seeing on this image right now is going to be free for everyone who plays Modern Warfare, and for the first time ever in a Call of Duty game, that's the case. Before this, you either had to buy the DLC or buy a season pass. This year, that is no longer. So in today's video, we are going to be breaking down everything that is going to be coming in Season 1, and also a little Easter egg that came out today as well, giving us an even deeper look at what Season 1 is going to be all about. Now, before we dive into this, I have to be completely honest with you. Yesterday, I was actually down at Infinity Ward in LA playing Season 1. I've played this content, and I can't talk about it yet, but later this week we are going to have videos up about the maps, about the guns, and about everything coming within Season 1. Like I said, I can't talk about it right now. Unfortunately, it's under NDA, but I can make this video telling you guys about everything that is going to be coming during Season 1, and it is a lot, as you can very clearly see by the image there. So to start things out, let's dive into the new maps that are going to be coming out within Season 1. Now, there are a lot on here, and I'm willing to bet that not all of these maps are going to be there at day one. Kind of similar to how Black Ops 4 did it, where they showed you everything that's going to be coming out over that season, and then within that season, they kind of slowly leaked out all of the different maps. That being said, I do think a bunch of these are going to be coming out on day one, and we'll kind of dive into that a little bit more when I talked about that Easter egg we saw before. So to start things out, let's dive into the 6v6 maps. So this is interesting because every single 6v6 map that we are seeing on this list is an old map from a previous Call of Duty game. And I'm partially wondering if that's because a lot of the people aren't liking the newer maps that are currently within Modern Warfare. And a lot of people are saying if we introduce some older maps, a lot more people are going to enjoy the maps and it'll play a little bit more like classic Call of Duty. So the maps that we are seeing here is number 1, Crash. It doesn't say Christmas Crash, even though this is coming out around Christmas, so we don't know whether that's going to happen or not. But as of right now, it's just regular Crash. Now, on top of that, there is also Vacant and Shipment. Once again, 2 other Call of Duty maps. Now, as we look at these maps, first of all, starting out with Vacant, Vacant was definitely one of the smaller maps from Call of Duty 4, but it's at the same time not too small. It doesn't play like a 2v2 map or anything like that. And then the second one we see there is Shipment. Now, the interesting thing about Shipment here is it doesn't really look like the traditional Shipment. It seems like there's more crates stacked on top of each other, a little bit more color, so I'm wondering if they're going to introduce Shipment, but they're going to be making some changes to it. If you remember way back before the game was even launched, there was a rumor that Shipment was going to be coming to the game, but they were going to make it a little bit larger to play a little bit better in 6v6 mode. I'm also interested to see whether or not Shipment will eventually be added as a 2v2 gunfight map as well. But like I said, we'll get into the gunfight maps in a second. Moving on to the next ground war map. So this is going to be like your 32v32 big map for ground war with tanks, all of the vehicles, that kind of thing. This one is called Port, and I don't really have much on this one. The only thing I can say is, if you remember back to when we did the leaks on the Call of Duty Modern Warfare Battle Royale, Port was actually one of the locations on the Battle Royale map close to the kind of shore there. So I'm wondering if this is also going to be a part of the Battle Royale map when eventually that comes out as well. So moving on to the 2v2 maps, we have Cargo and Atrium. So starting off with Cargo, I believe that this is actually a remake of the map Wetwork from Call of Duty 4. However, this time it looks like you're playing on the inside of it like the mission from Call of Duty 4. Now, the reason why I say this is, number 1, there was leaks about this way back before the game was even released once again, and it just kind of looks like it based off of the image. The second one is Atrium. We don't know much about this. All we know is it is a very small map that is the atrium of a building. So the middle is going to be outside, and then it looks like the edges are going to be inside. And then underneath that, it says, and additional maps as well. Now, it's important to note that I read the blog post and that this doesn't mean additional 2v2 maps. It means additional maps in general. So 6v6, ground war, and 2v2 maps. This isn't just what we are getting. There's going to be maps on top of what we are seeing here as well, which to me is absolutely insane and great to hear. Now, another update we got today is with the kind of card that they gave us when we went to the reveal event for Modern Warfare. And this is once again showing off some things for Season 1. The first thing that we can see there is some chlorine gas. This is basically what the single-player campaign was based off of. The second thing we're seeing there is Mr. Z, aka Imran Zakhaev. The third thing we're seeing here is the shaking of hands between Al-Assad and Mr. Z. We saw this in the Spec Ops campaign. On top of that, underneath that, we are seeing Cargo, the map that we just looked at. The next thing we're seeing there is the new character that is featured on the image we saw before. Now, this is Mara, and what we know about her is she's originally from Venezuela. She's a CIA asset, and she joined Warcom in 2017. Other than that, we don't have any other information yet. Other than that, as soon as we find out more, of course, I'll bring you more about that. The next thing we're seeing there is Atrium, the new 2v2 map. After this, I believe the image we're seeing here is a picture of Al-Assad in front of Crash, which is in the background there. And then finally, after that, we have the second new operator, who is named Nikito. Now, this character looks sweet. The backstory we see about him is that he's a former deep cover agent who has massive damage done to his face, has acute dissociative disorder, which is common with people with large trauma, and finally, that he is a Spetsnaz soldier. So it appears that the story of Season 1 is going to be heavily based around these two characters. And once again, as we know more about this, I'll bring out a video discussing it a little bit further with you guys. And I'm guessing everything we saw in there is going to be day 1 of Season 1. So Cargo, Atrium, Crash, as we saw in the background with Al-Assad there, and then maybe Port as well. I'm guessing since that's the only ground war map, I wouldn't be surprised if that's day 1. Now, moving over to the other side of the image here, first of all, new multiplayer modes. So what we've got here so far is Reinforce, which is kind of like a mix between Search and Destroy and Domination. We've seen it before in previous Call of Duty games. After that, we have Gunfight, OSP. This is the gunfight mode where you pick up different guns off the walls, off the ground, that kind of thing. The same as Gunfight, but you pick up weapons as opposed to be giving weapons at the beginning of the round. And then finally, Infected. This is the second party mode that we're going to see so far. We've already seen Gunfight. Infected is going to be the new one, and that's pretty much a fan favorite. I'm pretty sure everyone's going to love that. After this, we have new Spec Op experiences. I'm assuming some of these are going to be the full missions, and some of them are just going to be the individual things that you can get stars based off of. But the ones we have listed here are Bomb Squad, Grounded, Pitch Black, which actually looks like one of the missions from the campaign, Just Reward, and more. So I'm not going to go in depth with those. If you want to read more details about them, the full blog post will be linked down in the description. Then the final thing here is new weapons. Now, I'm just going to come right out and say this right away. Both weapons are free. You do not have to buy anything. You don't have to buy the battle pass. You don't have to buy anything in the store. The weapons are free for the update, so we'll just get that out of the way right away. Now, the two weapons we have are the Ram-7. So the Ram-7 is a fully automatic bullpup assault rifle, and then the Holger-26 is an LMG, which is a Holger model rifle with integrated sight rail and drum magazine. Now, this is a faster firing LMG than the other ones we currently have in the game, and I'm kind of interested to see how both of these weapons end up fitting into the meta. So that's everything that we see in that image, but of course, there is more, which is mainly the battle pass and the store items, which are going to be added in Season 1. Now, I will say that I did see these when I was at Infinity Ward. I can't talk about them right now. The only thing I will say is I think most people are going to be happy with the system that they decided to go with. I saw it and I was actually relatively impressed. It's not like Black Ops 4's version of the Battle Pass whatsoever. There's a lot of changes to it, but like I said, that is all I can say as of right now, and that the weapons are free. So the Ram-7 and the Holger-26 are going to be free. You don't have to buy the battle pass. For anyone who plays the game, you just get them for free. So we'll kind of see more of that as the week goes on, but just know, on top of the maps, on top of the game modes, on top of the Spec Ops, on top of the weapons, there's also battle pass. There's also going to be store items added in with Season 1 as well. So just keep that in mind as we're going into this December the 3rd. And speaking of which, that is when this goes live, next Tuesday, December the 3rd. That is the beginning of Season 1. They haven't really told us the exact date of how long this season actually is. I'm guessing we'll kind of see that the closer we get to December 3rd, but as of right now, they've said in the past that it'll probably be around 2 months, so we don't have an exact length, but it should be around that 2-month margin. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I tried to fit as much detail as I possibly could so you can really know what to expect going into Season 1. At this point, I do want to hear what you guys have to say about it down in the comments. Does this look good to you? Does this look bad to you? Let me know what you think down in the comments, and as always, if you enjoyed the video, it's much appreciated if you hit that like button. And if you want to stay up to date on everything Modern Warfare, on everything Season 1, on everything Call of Duty, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you have notifications on, and as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard, and I want